Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to see about development of duodenum. Let us move on to the video now. So, duodenum is a C-shaped structure. It is a C-shaped organ. So, when you see the development of duodenum, it is developed from two main sources. So two main sources means that is above the hepatopancreatic ampulla and below the hepatopancreatic ampulla. The hepatopancreatic ampulla is at the junction of the major duodenal papillae opening. So this both are related together. So above the hepatopancreatic ampulla, it is derived from the foregut part, terminal part of the foregut, and below the hepatopancreatic ampulla, which is derived from the proximal part of the midgut. These two are the main sources in which the development of the duodenum is going to occur. So one more thing also we should know. So by seeing the nature of the blood supply of the duodenum, it is supplied by superior pancreatico-duodenal artery and inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery. So by seeing this nature of blood supply, the superior pancreatico-duodenal artery, which is a branch of celiac artery, this celiac artery is an artery of foregut. An inferior pancreatico-duodenal artery is a branch of superior mesenteric artery. Superior mesenteric artery is it is a blood supply to the midgut. So this, by seeing the nature of this blood supply, we can understand this duodenum is developed from two sources. So now the exact development of duodenum we'll see. So this is the primitive duodenum. So this is the primitive duodenal part. So this present as a ventral convexity. It means you can, in the picture also you can see the duodenum is ventrally it is convex. It means the anterior margin is convex and the posterior margin is concave. This ventral convexity is attached to the septum transversum, which is through the ventral mesogastrium, and the concave margin is just attached to the dorsal mesogastrium through the mesoduodenum. So this is the thing which is seen in the duodenal part. So previously it is like a ventral, that is convex anterior and concave posterior. This we have to remember. Before rotation and all, the duodenal part has a ventral convexity and the posterior concave margin is present. So close to the anterior intestinal portal. Anterior intestinal portal is the point where the junction of the midgut and foregut. So at this point, evagination of the endodermal cells produces hepatopancreatic bud. So this is the hepatopancreatic bud. This going to form the development of the liver, then biliary apparatus and the lower part of the pancreas. So this the thing is happened in the ventral mesogastrium. These three things are invaginate the ventral mesogastrium. Next, coming to the concave margin. In the concave margin, development of the endodermal outgrowth which is occur in the foregut, which becomes the entire part of the pancreas except the lower part of the pancreas. So this is going to form here in the mesoduodenum. So this is the thing which is seen in the part before rotation of the duodenum. Next, coming to see the development. The developmental stages of the duodenum occur in three phases. First one is the rotation, then second one is fixation, and third one is axial rotation. So these three phases are going to occur in the development of the duodenum. That also we should remember. Now first phase is the rotation phase. So in the fetal stage and all, the abdominal, as because the abdominal cavity is very small, that is the midgut loops and all, which is located outer side of the abdominal cavity. So that we can see it as a physiological umbilical hernia. Once the developing part of the large gut occurs, when the transverse colon is going to develop, it makes the re-entry of the abdominal cavity into its original position. So the abdominal loops and all re-enters into the abdominal cavity. So while occurring this re-entrance, what happen is it pushes the transverse colon pushes the primitive duodenum to the right side. So usually it is like a ventral anterior border, that is a ventrally convex is present and dorsally concave margin is present. So during this re-entrance, rotation of the duodenum occurs. It pushes the ventral convex border to the right side, and then the dorsal concave margin becomes towards the left surface. So this, like this, the rotation of the duodenum occurs. In the picture also we can see how it is positioned. So first it is this part, it will becomes a anterior, now it becomes right surface, and this part is posterior previously, now it becomes the left margin, left surface. So this the thing happens during the rotation. Now second phase, that is fixation. So when you see in the fixation, so after rotation, the posterior surface of the duodenum is covered by peritoneum before. So now it is turned to the right. The convex margin is turned towards the right surface. Now the posterior surface of the duodenum is already covered by the peritoneum. This is in contact with the parietal peritoneum of the dorsal body wall. And this part undergoes zygosis. Zygosis means previously the peritoneum, the whole part of the organ is covered by peritoneum. After undergone zygosis means a part of the peritoneum will get reabsorbed and it becomes non-peritoneal. The same thing is going to happen here also. So now the parietal, yes, because it is in contact with the parietal peritoneum, most of the posterior surface of the definitive duodenum becomes non-peritoneal except the proximal part. It means the whole part, the posterior surface of the duodenum is and all, it is absorbed and it is directly contact with the parietal peritoneum. So it becomes a non-peritoneal organ except only the proximal part. Exactly, it is 2.5 centimeter part only which is covered by the peritoneum. Remaining part of the duodenum which becomes a non-peritoneal. So like this it is fixed over the dorsal body wall. This is seen in the fixation. And then next one is axial rotation. That is our third phase. So during this third phase, the very important thing is due to difference in the growth of the second part of the duodenum. So because of this, a differential growth occur in the second part of the duodenum. It produces axial rotation of the hepatopancreatic organs and all, and it pushes the organ towards the postromedial part. That is postromedial part, so that the whole part, that is the whole part of the liver and the gallbladder, and then the lower part of the pancreas and all will push towards the postromedial aspect. So when it pushes the organs and all, at the meantime the dorsal bud is which is going to form the whole part of the pancreas except the lower end of pancreas. This pushes somewhat anterior. So and we can get the exact development of the duodenum is happen after axial rotation. So this makes the head of the pancreas is rest over the concave margin of the duodenum. So during the axial rotation, so there's a part of the duodenum which makes an intercommunication between the duct system of dorsal and the ventral pancreatic bud also. So here we can see the dorsal and the ventral pancreatic duct and its communications. So during 8th week, during 8th week of development, the lumen of the duodenum is obliterated by endodermal cells. But after the end of the, that is 3rd month, usually the recanalization occurs. A recanalization, so that it will be opened. Opening of the duodenum occurs. So if the recanalization does not occurs, it leads to a condition called duodenal atresia. So this is a very rare case. Usually it occurs, it doesn't occur, but in rare occasion, this recanalization, if it does not occur, means it leads to a atresia. Thank you, friends. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please share and subscribe. And please don't forget to click the bell icon.